Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
You're bad for week 15.
Okay, my bad is going to be the Lions, and it's just going to be the injuries
Okay.
because I feel bad. That's why they're in here, just because I don't hate the Lions at all. Because I'm not a Packer fan, so I have nothing against the Lions. And even when they had the first set of injuries before the last couple of weeks, I was like, right, they're good enough to patch it together. Um, but with David Montgomery out now and Carlton Davis gone and McNeil gone, like their offense will still be good. So it's not like I don't think they're just going to lose out and just disappear. But the ceiling of the team really takes a hit because I don't know how they're going to stop many good teams. And I just feel bad because I think they were home field odds on favorite to get to the Super Bowl. And I don't see how they would stop a team like the Eagles. Right now, they had to play the Eagles, no matter where they played the Eagles, from either Saquon Barkley running for 250 yards or Jalen Hurts running all over like a semi Josh Allen performance. And it's not that the lines are bad. It's just more like I feel bad for what has happened in a season where, maybe they can string it together, but I just feel bad that this is how the end is coming, how it is.
Yeah, so this was actually going to be my ugly, but what I'll do just for the sake of, keeping the topics on together, I'll switch my bad with my ugly. I'll put my ugly up here, and it's the Lions injuries, and they have 16 guys on IR just on the defensive side of the alone. Not to mention insult to injury, like we didn't even know Montgomery was injured until after the game, like, the day after the game, and then he's out for the season. And I'm kind of with you. It's like I don't like. Do I think there's a chance that they can get to the Super Bowl? Of course, but they are not the favorites anymore. I don't expect them to get there. If they somehow do it, in my mind, it's going to be like a miracle just because I think they have 22 players in total on IR right now. And so with Davis out, McNeil out, Dorsey and Montgomery and Hutchinson won't be back until maybe the Super Bowl, but I think that's pushing it. I don't want to rush him back because you got to worry about the future. That defense is not stopping anyone, and they probably could do it if they do the right scheme for a quarter or two. But this is really going to put, I think, Jared Goff in that offense in a big limelight because you don't have Montgomery. Your defense is going to be bad. So you're basically like the team you were last year except you don't have David Montgomery. So now we're gonna have to see if they can kind of show up here, but I don't know. I don't think it. I think the Eagles should be the favorite, and I'm with you. All the injuries, it's just awful.
Yeah, and I thought before these last sets, like, okay, you get to the playoffs and you can do I always call it the Jimmy Garoppolo, where you run the ball so much you only throw it like 14 or 15
That's
times
fair.
if you have to, right?
Yeah.
Like if you need to do that against the Eagles and you just grind out 3.5 yards a carry for, drives and get points, and then you only got to stop them twice in a game, and all right, we're in it. But I don't. That's asking a lot, and if you fall behind, then I think the defense is in trouble. Like, with the Bills, like, what do you stop then, right? If you're in front, you can be like, all right, we can do one thing and just try to focus on it. But when you get behind by a couple scores, and the Lions will score a lot of points, so Jared Goff is probably going to put up some numbers here at the end, but uh, it's just it's a worse version of like the 2020 49ers where
hmm
it just like, but that was early in the year, so at least I gave up hope. Like I think Bosa tore his ACL in week 2 and all these guys went down, and I'm like, well, it's over early, but in this case it might be over late.
And it just stinks because as a Lions fan, there's this thing where it's like, okay, never have we been in this position where we were the favorites, where we had the opportunity to win the Super Bowl or even get to the Super Bowl. And now that we're out of our own way, so to speak, where it's not like incompetence and stuff like that, it's now injuries. So it's if it isn't one thing, it's a different thing, which is kind of a bummer. at this point. Did you hear Dan Campbell's press conference though, or not? It wasn't a press conference, radio interview.
It did. And
Yeah.
look, I mean, that dude is an awesome coach. I don't
Mhm.
always agree with some of his tactics, but I don't think the team will quit. But that stuff only goes so, and that might work this week. Like they play the Bears this week,
Yeah.
so yeah, okay, that should work. But then you get what do they play? The Vikings, and then at the Niners, or at the Niners and the Vikings, one of those. Like so, they might be able to patch it together, a couple of these, but like I just hope they don't have to lose to the Packers or something.
No.
I don't want to deal with. I don't want to deal with that for you. So I generally feel bad. I don't often feel bad about teams, but this week I was like, oh man, that feels like the final straw.
Yeah, I agree. Real quick on the game, let's just talk about two. I wanted to talk about the game plan, though. I do have to say real quick, wasn't the best game plan from Aaron Glenn. I think he's been really good, but he did not blitz enough. I don't think with like he's trying to get pressure with his front four, which we can't do. So I didn't like the game plan going in the game. I don't know. I just think that you can throw in the bad as well because and then coming out of halftime, there was no adjustment. Like your game plan wasn't working and you didn't adjust. Does that make sense? Like it was just a bad game plan.
Yeah, and yeah, sometimes I think it's limited by
Yeah, you're
especially
right.
when guys go out during the game. Like, okay, now this other guy comes in, and can we count on him to
Hmm.
run this or be a single high safety in this spot? So, um, maybe with planning, if you can hold on to the one seed and get a bye week, maybe it sounds like a couple, at least of your mid-tier linebackers could get back, and that could at least put a little formality to it. But otherwise, ugh.
And then the last thing, what was your thought? I gotta ask, what was your thought of the onside kick?
With the new rules, it's probably not ideal. Like when Dan Campbell does these things, like I get it. Um, but I just think like I would prefer in that case to kick it off and then do what you said and just be like single high, cover zero, let's go after him.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe Josh Allen is known to just throw one up there, maybe. Um, I would personally take that approach. I know that most teams don't do that. I don't know why. I mean, I'm getting paid by an NFL team, so for obvious reasons. But I would think like in a situation like that, you just be like, here it is. We're going to do either man up and we're just going to blitz and they're going to score anyhow, right? Whether they score in 4 plays or 18 plays, and just kind of go for it. But with the new rules, it just makes it hard to like get an onside kick because you got to tell them it's coming.
Yeah, I agree with that. I wouldn't have done it, but I understand why he did it. That's where I kind of come down on it. Like I would have never myself called the onside kick, but I got it because they were allowing like 8 yards of play. So every time the Bills dropped back, they were basically almost getting a first down. I think I would have rather done what you said, which is just bring a bunch of pressure. You're not going to stop them anyway, so you got to force them into a mistake. That's what you got to do. And they didn't try that, and that frustrated me. Like, try to make them make a mistake. They're scoring touchdowns anyway, so do your best to make them make a mistake. So I did want to ask you about that. Okay, you ready to move on to the ugly? Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.